You may want to get a head start on planting, but this is the best time really to plan. I talked to Jimmy Juergens and Sydnee Duren of Bentley Ridge Tree Farm and Nursery for this Let's Grow. We are talking planting, and a lot of times we've heard the early bird gets the worm. Sydnee, that's not the case?
Not the case with planting here. We are big on planning ahead, but not so much about planting ahead or planting early, especially with those smaller plants or ones that may be blooming already too.
And it's hard though, because the weather's so nice. We want to get out and get our hands dirty.
Oh yeah, we've had that really nice weather here lately. It's been eagerness to get out there, but it would definitely put that emphasis on making sure everything's ready to go, making sure it looks good, making sure your hard goods are in, making sure everything else is really nice, but not on the actual plant, especially small plant material right off the bat there.
So you mentioned planning. What does that entail? How should we plan our space?
So actually, that's a great question. We have info sheets too that people can find throughout the retail area, or you can find them on our website as well. And that kind of gets you an idea of how much sunlight the plant needs, how much water needs, spacing, height between each plant. Actually too, for speaking of water needs, we have some social media content that we put out, and you can actually watch Jimmy get splashed with a lot of water on there, so you'll have to watch out for that video. So
yeah, our website though, we really direct people to that as a really good tool to use too. I mean, we break down shade and sun perennials, we break down everything that you could be looking for. The other thing, the big attribute that we like to play into is when people are looking at their space, know the measurements and know your sun and shade requirements in that area, because a lot of people come in and they want so many plants in this area, they want it to look nice, but in reality they only have room for a select few, and we put a big emphasis on the look good now and look good 10 years down the road. The look good now portion is actually a little bit tougher than the look good 10 years down the road. We want to make sure that we're not overfilling or making extra maintenance for the customer there.
Is that one of the biggest problems you see? We try to cram too much stuff in our space?
A lot of people, yeah, especially when it comes to plant material, because you're looking at these plants and they may be this size now, but they get 5 foot by 5 foot, and they could be overwhelming in a space. And so it can be deceptive when you come to a garden center. And again, that's why we want our information to be so accurate on these sheets, so that you can see it mature, so you can kind of get that plan ahead of time.
So what information, what numbers should we have before we come here to plan out our space?
Yeah, so sun and shade, amount of hours a day that your area is getting sunlight or shade there. Definitely the overall width and depth of the planting bed that you might be looking at, or if you're looking at like an overall yard, same thing. 20 feet from the house is where we're thinking of putting this tree. That's going to determine if you can do a shade tree or an ornamental, or what might play into it there.
yeah, also too, color is good.
Yeah.
So if you want a certain color or how you want it to look, more green, more appearance things as well, we're up for, because we have so many different varieties as well, which is great. So
I love this advice, because so often I will just come and like in May and be like, oh, I just want to plant all the things, and then it's overwhelming.
It is overwhelming.
Yeah.
There's a lot of plant material that looks beautiful, and you think it would look great at your house, and it probably would, but you want to make sure you space it correctly. So.
Okay, these are also beautiful. We can shop for these items now, right?
Yeah, hard goods, definitely something to kind of plan out for. We've got pottery, we've got wind spinners, wind chimes, we got a lot of different things, and it's always nice too, if you are planning your space and kind of getting a head start on that, you can kind of plan these things out in there as well, because hard goods last a lifetime. So yes, they're not going to grow, they're not going to get bigger, but they're going to continue to look good. So you can kind of focus your plant material around your hard goods, and that can really make an emphasis in a space as well.
This guy even moves.
Yeah, that's a rockin' rooster. That's a locally made one too. RS Welding Studio makes those for us. They have a lot of creative creatures out here with rocks and metal work in those as well.
Okay, so again, don't get planting yet,
Yep.
Get planning.
Yes, absolutely.
yeah.
We are so ready. You can learn more about planting your garden at BentleyRidgeTreeFarm.com or call 515-444-9101. Bentley Ridge is located in Grimes, and you can check them out on social media.